Welcome to the Untrapped Podcast, where we're motivated and inspired about success, small business, and personal development. And now, Keith Kalfas.
Yo, what's up? Can you start a window cleaning business in the winter and go out in the freezing cold and the snow and the ice? And absolutely, yes, you can. When I started my window cleaning business, it was the middle of the freezing winter. It was freezing outside. I'm talking there was sitting snow and ice all over the place. And I realized that I started out with strip malls and plazas and commercial properties because there was so much salt all over all the windows from the snowplow crews and salting. And then one of my first jobs was a whole plaza that the snowplow crew had got salt all over all the windows. And then, yeah, exactly. So I bundled up with 3 layers of clothing, and I got windshield washer solvent, and I poured like whole bottles of alcohol inside of windshield washer solvent with Dawn dish soap so it wouldn't freeze. And then I wore like super thick gloves with waterproof ski gloves, and bundled up my whole everything so I could just see like an Eskimo. And then I would go inside of anywhere, gas stations, barber shops, everything, you name it, and sell my window cleaning services. And I'm like, your windows are dirty. You need them cleaned? I'm the local window cleaning guy. They're like, no, we already have a guy who cleans the windows. And I'd be like, okay, so they're dirty. Want me to clean them? I'll clean them for $20. And I was just so persistent that they would say yes. And as soon as they would say yes, I'd clean the windows, get the $20. I would say, okay, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Like, okay, well, I'll stop back in 2 weeks regardless because I'll be cleaning your neighbor's windows. And I just very persistently went out and got to the point where I was making, well, back then, 100, 150 a day. When I first started, I would made nothing. Then I made 15 a day, 20, then 35, then 50, then $65 in a day, then 80, then 85. Then I got to the point where I was doing up to 170 in a day sometimes. Back then, winter of 2012, winter of 2011. Yeah, it was a long time ago. So just add more onto that for inflation or whatever. Well, I wouldn't take no for an answer. I would clean your windows for as little as free. If they wouldn't even give me $5, I'd be like, $20. They'd be like, no, I'd say 19. No, 18. They'd be like, will you get out of here? I'm trying to run a business. Your windows are dirty. I'll do them for 15, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I'm not kidding. 2, 1. I'll do your windows for free. No. I will pay you to clean your windows. I took $5 out of my pockets, and I'm like, at the business owner, he's like, no, man, like, dude, I know, I'm going to pay you to clean your windows right now. And it was like, so I remember a few that I was like, all right, I'm going to clean them for free just because you won't let me. And I would literally take my squeegee out and go outside and just start cleaning all the windows. A couple people freaked out. A couple people gave me money. But come on, man, business owners doing 100,000, 200,000, million a year, and you're just trying to get $8 to clean the windows. That sounds like nothing. But if you have 50 or 60 or 100 or 200 accounts, and, I have a job, a customer, I did their windows for $22 a month. It was a whole restaurant. Pretty stupid. But that person's been my client for 10 years, and I just billed them for $2,200 to do some landscaping and window cleaning. And I've got their window cleaning bill from 22. I think I charge them 160 whenever we do all the windows inside and out and all the mirrors. 160 from $22. Just kept raising it. And
If you are looking for the greatest software ever to run your business on, go to getjobber.com/Keith. You can create proposals, invoices, collect payments, and track your entire business directly on the Jobber smartphone app. If you want to get a totally free trial of Jobber right now, open your browser, type in getjobber.com/Keith, and after the trial, if you decide to sign up with Keith's link, you'll automatically get 20% off your first 6 months. So what are you waiting for? Go to getjobber.com/Keith.
This is very hard. It's a nightmare. You're going out freezing your ass off. You're suffering. And it's brutal hell. Have you ever seen the movie The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio where he's in the freezing cold facing death? That's what it felt like to me. But going to work another dead-end job simply wasn't enough money, and I didn't have a choice. So and I didn't have any money to invest in a business. I was broke with an eviction notice and debt collectors and calling me. So the only thing I could find, I had let my life get all the way down to the point where the only option that I could foreseeably see was one, I had went and got a CDL driver's license to drive a truck across the country for like $20 an hour. And then my wife broke down crying. She didn't want me leaving. And she was like, you're not fucking leaving across the country in a truck, only being home once every other week. No. And I felt like, so I had no other options. It was either lose my soon-to-be wife and lose another apartment and be a loser and go sleep on someone's couch and go work a dead-end job and be a fucking loser, or get my ass out there in the absolute freezing cold. And then at some point I realized that nobody cares about your pain and suffering. Nobody cares. Even if you die and they come to your funeral and they cry and some people love you and they actually really did love you, as time goes on, most everybody will just going to go on with their lives. Nobody gives a shit if you're suffering. And billions of people have died before you, probably like trillions or something. If people have suffered grievously, they've died, they've frozen to death, they've starved, and we don't know any of those people. Hang on what I'm saying. I know this sounds really negative, but this is the where I crossed the Rubicon. This is where everything changed for me. I came home after like trying like multiple days to clean windows, and I had 6 days until there was an eviction notice. People ask me like, how did you even let your life get to this bad? Were you like a drug addict? I'm not a drug addict. Oh, I never was a drug addict. I never got into drugs. My mother died of a heroin overdose, and I watched a lot of my friends drink themselves to death and die and commit suicide. I've been to countless funerals, so I never got into any of that stuff. It was that I was an idiot. I had a music dream. I literally thought I was going to become a famous musician. I was doing music like 40 hours a week and doing live shows, and I had... God, I got fired from a job because I was making YouTube videos at work on company time on client property, and I don't even know why I'm telling you all this shit. I shouldn't even upload this video, but I had a shitty record deal, and I got lied to by these concert promoters that were just ripping people off, and I thought I was going to open up in concert for like a famous musician in December 12th. And by the time December, and I was going out, luckily I didn't sell too many. I only sold about $1,500 worth of tickets. I was selling fake concert tickets that I thought were real, because this fake ass concert, this is a whole nother story, because this is actually a powerful story. They had fake contracts with Pepsi logos on it and different huge like sponsored endorsements. It all looked real. And I was a musician and an artist, and I didn't know that this fake concert promoter. I had a music manager who fell for this shit too. They were going around. They had tricking musicians into doing this. It was a huge scam. I got scammed, and I felt so bad. I scammed people. I think I went back and I gave people money back years down the road for. And then, so I actually thought I was preparing to open up in concert, and I was doing music constantly. I was going to a dance studio. I was in the studio. I was rehearsing and doing vocal training and practicing, because and I was doing local shows all over the place. Music became my full-time job, and I'm like, I literally can't work a job right now because I'm literally opening up in concert in a month. So I was doing music nonstop till 7 o'clock in the morning, preparing for this big debut. And then I found out like a week before the concert that the whole thing was a sham. And that it was a big scam, and I was like, oh my God, whole thing is fake. I'm so gullible and stupid. I would never fall for that now. And then by that time, I was so broke.
Looking to maximize your production in the field?
Ballard Products has over 300 products that can help you get the most out of your efforts every day.
Ballard Products. Whether you are looking to get a better cut, keep your gear on your machine, keep your expensive equipment clean and safe, or just get the most out of your machines, Ballard has you covered. Ballard Products.
Jump onto our easy-to-use updated website at ballard-inc.com to get your gear ordered today. Keep grinding. Stay safe. And have a great season. Ballard. Make sure to use the code Keith10 to save 10% on our full line of gear. That's Keith10.
When you have a dead-end job, you make like 15 or 12 bucks an hour. Anytime something goes wrong in your life, it just goes on the debt pile. You don't have any money to pay for that because you have barely just no money to survive, right? And so I had gotten myself down so low to the point where I couldn't even afford anything. And then I couldn't even afford to live. And I just had this big stupid-ass dream. Wasn't practical. So basically, by the time I met my wife, I knew I was putting her ass on the line too. And I had gotten her involved in my life. And now we had got engaged and moved in together. And then now I knew that if we got evicted from that apartment, that would be the end. I would spend the next decade of my life riding bicycles to work, being a grown-ass man. So I woke up that morning and something snapped inside of me. I just totally fucking snapped. And my eyes just glazed over, and I didn't care about the freezing cold. I didn't care how hard it was. I knew nobody cared about my suffering. The victim was gone. And I was a soldier. I went out and I did whatever the hell I had to do. It didn't matter how many hours it took. And I worked a 90 to 100 hours a week for like a year straight. And then maybe like 80, 90 hours a week the second year. 70 to 90 hours a week the third year. And it took like it took 7 years. I did all the math too. One night I sat down back then when I was broken in debt. I said, oh my God, this is going to take 7 years to dig myself completely out of debt, to pay off all these debts, to get a credit score back. 7 years. So look at your life right now and be like, how old are you? Think about 7 years from now. That is a long time of suffering. And I said to myself, oh my God, the next 7 years of my life are going to be hell. 5 to 7 years, but 7 years. To pay off these karmic debts. I never did anything wrong. I wasn't a bad person, but to dig myself out of this hole and build and establish my life. It seemed like an eternity, but I did the math, and the math said 7 years is going to go by either way. So in 7 years, you're going to crawl out of this fucking hole and finally be somebody. And it's not going to be the person you always wanted to be. You're not going to be a somebody. You have to just accept the fact that you're an average Joe. And you will have a chance at being an average Joe, or you're going to be a fucking loser. What are you going to do? And so I just sold all my music and studio equipment on eBay, used the money to pay bills, and I just started building my business, cleaning windows and landscaping. And when the spring came, then I started getting into people's houses, cleaning windows, dirt cheap, undercutting myself, working for peanuts, did so many jobs for free, high up on ladders with my knees shaking. It didn't matter. And I remember the day I finally paid off my debts. It would have been like by I think it was 2016 or 2018. It was 7 years later. I paid off the final debt. And I was completely debt-free. I've been completely debt-free for like years now. My credit score was on the toilet. Now my credit score is like an 813. I have perfect credit. I have not missed a single payment since 2011 on anything. I'm never late on any of my payments. I have like 10 credit cards, impeccable credit, money in the bank, 14 bank accounts, 2 six-figure businesses, a whole recording studio, which is not really nothing. It's just my fucking garage. My wife and I drive brand new cars. We got a nice house. We're remodeling the basement. There's food in the fridge, money in the bank. And I don't know how much I'll do as of this calendar year in revenue. Just to be safe, I'll lowball to, 375,000. 375,000. And do well over 100,000 in personal income. Up to last year I did 121,000 in personal income, And then this year, I did 60,000 more than that, 50% profit margins, 150,000 in personal income. Hey, my friend, if you want to launch your landscaping business successfully this year, then I highly recommend you check out my brand new free landscaping launch 3-video series at keithkelfis.com/landscaping series. Listen, I've been running my landscaping business for over 13 years, and I really believe I know what it takes to start a home service business from literally nothing and take it up to the 6-figure mark. I've been through all types of frustrations and lessons and successes, and I've condensed all of that wisdom down into 3 hyper-specific trainings that you can get access to right now for free. Open up your browser and type in keithkelfis.com/landscaping series, and I'll see you on the inside. And I learned now that the secret, at least as far as I can articulate now, is to work your ass off, invest your money, live below your means. You can eat good food. You can sleep in a cozy bed. Don't blow your money on stupid shit, and always save for a rainy day, and be highly ambitious. I plan on being a multi-millionaire, and by the time I'm 45, I'll be financially free for the rest of my life. I'll be a millionaire by 45. And even that, it's like, well, 45? Why didn't I say I'll be a millionaire by 22? Well, because there's a lot of deep skill sets you have to learn. And the more I learn is the more I learn I don't know shit. So get out there and fucking build your window cleaning business. Because nobody cares about your crying or whining or tears or how hard it is. And you know what? One day you're going to have customers say, oh yeah, you're the window cleaning guy. Or you might be walk through Best Buy or fucking Costco or Walmart, and you'll see a customer. You're like, oh hey, it's the window cleaning guy. And you'd be like, because it used to hurt my ego. People would refer to me as the window cleaning guy. I'm like, I'm not the window cleaning guy. I'm Keith Kelfis. I'm important. You're the fucking window cleaning guy. And you know what? You reach out of your pocket. My friend Eric Bland. This dude's like, he's a window cleaning guy. Dude's got a Bentley. He's got fucking Rolex. He goes to Florida. He's got fat stack of cash. He's got a very successful business, a bunch of employees, and he's doing very well for himself. But he's funny because he's a little braggadocious. People misinterpret him sometimes because I don't know how to take this guy. Is he bragging or what? But I know Eric, and I know his heart, and I know he's actually just saying, look at me, dude. I grew up fucking poor and hustled my ass off, and you can do this too. Like, don't be shy to be the window cleaning guy, because the window cleaning guy, you can go build a multi-million-dollar business and have 50 employees if you want. And you can literally have your dream house, your dream car, vacation home, assets, stocks, bonds, real estate, mutual funds, income-producing, cash-flowing properties. It's going to take you fucking 20 years. It's going to take you 20 years. It's going to be really fucking hard. But if you don't have any other alternatives, just do it. And if you're not in Silicon Valley, you could be. You just move to Silicon Valley. Go find out. But like, don't bitch. Because the world has no room for whiners and complainers. I got people in my life that I love dearly. All they do is whine and bitch and complain about their situation, their circumstance, their scenario, and how bad their life sucks. And somebody I know says, well, I can't say it because somebody could cut that part out and make me look like a doofus. Like I'm not already, but do you know anybody in your life who all they do, they're supposed to be a responsible adult, and they're still for 20 years straight crying about their life? Look at me, I'm leaning back. Oh, crying about their life. And you're sick of hearing it? Like, dude, all you do is bitch and complain about your life. If you would reinvest some of that time in fucking doing something, maybe your life would be different. Because I got my own problems. Out here, you bitch. Sick of it. So, yeah, same goes with you. Nobody cares. Work harder, right? But then there comes a point, if you've worked, 80, 90 hours a week for 5 years straight and you're having multiple nervous breakdowns and like you're sick in bed with bags under your eyes and you haven't spent any time with your family, that's a problem too. For me, the problem was my fear was so deeply embedded in my nervous system, the trauma of being broke and struggling and almost losing everything and paying off all this debt and trying to building a business off the ground while being insecure, low self-esteem, blinking with Tourette syndrome. I have all types of like nervous tics, like I blink, and I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I'm a traumatized guy from my mom dying of a heroin overdose and living in 31 homes and always having the rug pulled out from underneath me. Any thought of stability in my life gives me anxiety. I'm afraid to get comfortable. So if I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too, right? You just get up and go work harder. But here's the next thing. When you finally get a little bit of money in the bank, what got you here won't get you there. You're going to have to change gears at some point and start hiring employees and having training systems and allow yourself the freedom to sleep in on the weekends, to have a date night with your wife, to buy the steak at the restaurant, and to reward yourself and to know that you're not, if you just take a break for a minute and sit on the couch and pop some popcorn and eat some and watch some Netflix, you're not going to die. Like, you have to enjoy life a little bit too to reward yourself. You're not constantly in survival mode, because you won't get to the next step if you're always in survival mode. This is my business, my operating manual that I'm working on. 39 documents that any employee must sign before I can put them on payroll. And I'm building the administrative pillar in my business. I could have never conceived to do anything like this in the beginning because I was in survival mode. Anyways, I hope that served you. I just talked your head off. You probably don't ever find videos like this on the internet, because nobody talks about this shit. It's all about Mr. Beast and entertainment and blowing up cars and dropping things from helicopters. We're entertaining ourselves to death. Hey, I hope you liked the show. And if you like the Untrapped podcast and you get value from it, can you please take a minute and go over to Spotify and leave it a well-worded positive 5-star review? It helps boost the rankings on Spotify so the show can get to more people. Therefore, these messages can get out to more people and inspire more people so then they can go out and start their small businesses and crush it and get to the next level. It's a huge deal. All right, I'll see you in the next show.